I was scared.
I don't think any of us can come out of COVID-19 and say we were untouched mentally.
I think I'd rather just stay home. Even though there are challenges, I'd rather have my own timely manner of getting my classes done.
Being at home, there's a lot of distractions. Being on Zoom, you're not in person with them, so you're not learning as much. My initial reaction was that we had to shut everything down and I had to stay home, which I was like, that's great, let's just stay home. And then we had to start online learning after that, and so it was kind of hectic.
The worst part was probably not being, I would have to wear masks everywhere I went. And for quite a while, we had to watch church online instead of actually go to church and be able to interact with my friends.
So being remote, you are able to connect with your fellow students quite easily, mainly through discussion boards. My English class, we write essays, and through each essay topic, our rough draft gets posted in a discussion board, and it is assigned to a fellow peer, and they edit your rough draft for you. And then you conversate with them for a full week about how you can make yours better, what else you could put in it, and then vice versa, you do the same thing for them. So you do learn a lot about that specific peer because you get off topic a lot. You don't just talk about the essay, you talk about other things, their outside life as well. The professor, honestly, it just depends on the professor. A lot of times they tell you when their office hours are. So if you email them outside of office hours, you don't ever get a hold of them until their next office hour. So it is hard to keep engaged with your professor, but not so much your peers.
I do not feel like I learned well enough online at all, just because I'm an extroverted kind of person and I like being with my peers in person so that I can learn better. I guess I get more information from them as opposed to being online where you don't really get a whole lot of communication with them.
If anything, my kids buckled down more. In fact, during the pandemic, my children were able to go ahead in their paces. So Edison, while she's a 5th grader now, she's actually in 6th grade work. So she was able to go almost a half a year ahead because we were sitting here. We didn't have all those outings and those days that were being taken up outside of the house. So if anything, it gave them more of a focus on their schoolwork.
My day is nonstop. I am a mother of 3, so I get up in the morning, I get my 2 big kids off to school, and then from 8 to 11, I do schoolwork consistently. I'm sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop, doing schoolwork. And then I get my youngest one ready for school, and I bring her to school at noon. And then I go to work, and then I come home from work, and then I cook dinner, and then I do bedtime routines, and then I do more schoolwork, usually from about 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, so I changed my major to business because of partially the vaccine. Being Christian and everything, I honestly don't really want the vaccine just because I also didn't know what was in it. And so it was all too soon and just kind of chaos, so I didn't really want it. And to be a teacher in public school, the government said you had to have a vaccine, so I didn't want it, so I switched to business, and that degree was all online.
I like being able to stay home to my schoolwork. One of the big kickers is I can have pajama day whenever I want, and I can wake up when I want, and I don't have to worry about any noise or anything.
So I have thought greatly about keeping my kids home to be homeschooled. When it was a big thing and they were home and schools were shut down, it was complicated. It was just, everybody was just thrown into it. There was no structure in the beginning. It was extremely stressful. We were doing it for 9 months, so it became habit. And then when they finally went back to school, and we still had to do everything. We still had to do all the mandates and the social distancing, and it was a real struggle. A lot of times your kid could just be sent home just because they have a small cough. It got frustrating to the point where we almost did look for other opportunities to try to homeschool, because it's not even that it was safer that way. It was just a matter of it's more convenient now for them just to stay home.
To be honest with you, sending my kids to public school is just not an option for our household. I honestly feel like the school system is not the same as when I went. The social pressures that are out there, the bullying, I just don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's happening in the public school system right now. I think education itself is great. I am a huge proponent of education, of learning, of researching, but I just don't like school environment. And I think homeschooling really provides us that flexibility to be able to hone in on what they are good at, what captivates their attention, and if it changes, we can adapt to that.